Hello? I know, you don't have to tell me. It's hot where you are, right? It is here too. I've got all my curtains closed and there's a little sun streaming through the crack in the curtains in the bedroom. I'm between the bedroom and the living room, sort of a cool, calm place. How are y'all doing today? Whew. Yes, a lot going on. Well, it's not quite anything going on. I did water my plants. And Itsy was missing for a while, but she came home. That's what cats do. They go away and then they come home later. When they want. Or they're hungry. Or they're hot. Or whatever. One thing you can always make sure of a dog. The dog wants in where the air conditioning is. He goes out, does his business, comes right back in. A cat, a whole different story. Well, I got an intro. I want to read you a real cute message I got in regard to my video that we're talking about air conditioning and growing up. And this is from Gigi Boyd, and it says, I can understand your language and choice of words on your videos perfectly fine. All that technology of CC, closed caption, is like speaking into phone to text. It will throw all kinds of words up in there and tell a whole different Dick and Jane story. I do believe that's true. Because it says, whatever happened to Dick and Jane's books anyway? Spot probably ate them all. We never had air conditioning either. We had large attic fan and another very large attic window fan. When it came on, yes, sounded like a jet and would suck you up off the floor when it came on. That's right. They're powerful. They're powerful back in the day. Had one space heater in the bathroom. Still today, I'm scared of fire with a claw foot tub with 6 kids to bathe. To save water, Mom would bathe the 3 girls together, then do the 3 boys together. We slept the same way with 3 kids to a mattress and one facing one way at head of the mattress and the other at the other way, hoping you won't wake up with a foot in your face. Yeah. Does this sound familiar to any of y'all? The house was over 100 years old and the wood flooring would creak and had spaces between every other board which you could see the ground below. Broken windows from past storms had to hold windows open with old sticks. Anything you have to do, right? And for baby formula, Mom used cans of carnation pet milk watered down. Used cloth diapers, lots of washing by hand and hanging out to dry on the line and ironed. Hang clothes out now and you'll get poison ivy in your bridges. Well, believe it or not, Miss Gigi, I hung my clothes out last week. It's just going to be hot, and I thought, I'm not going to use the dryer, I'm just going to put my clothes outside, which I did. Less than 15 minutes, I do believe, all my dresses, my towels, and everything were dry. Yes, even with high humidity, they were, drying up. But, they smelled so good. It made me want to wash all my clothes and hang them outside. I might work on that. Put me a clothesline outside there in the courtyard. What's the matter, Itsy? Itsy, what's wrong? Huh? Come here, Itsy. You all right? Clyde, to behave. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll take that out. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm still working on this. Virus stitch meets the granny stitch. So I was thinking it'd be a pretty top, wouldn't it? A pretty top, or a cardigan maybe. Yeah, I'll have to work on that next time. I got to finish this one because I've got the rest of this and I've got some more pink to go with it from Mrs. C. I want to do that, and I called and talked to Cruz today, and I forgot all about making her a red napkin for her bed. So I've got to figure out what kind of pattern to use for her house. And she says, well, how are you doing? Are you still crocheting? I said, yes. And we talked and everything. Because her tomatoes are just like mine, you know. And the cucumbers are little balls, you know. When it gets really hot weather at the end of the season, you get these little white balls. They're supposed to be cucumbers. But anyway, they're just deprived. So we were going over how hot it was. And out everybody's staying in. No flea market going like that. She loves to go to flea markets. And she loves helping people. She's always out helping people. If somebody, you know, that next door website is of everybody in the neighborhood here, it's called Next Door anyway. And if somebody needs some help moving, or an old folks lady needs help or something, that's what Cruz and her and Aaron. I couldn't believe I couldn't remember his name. Very nice gentleman. Very nice gentleman. Both. They're beautiful people. They really are. She makes me laugh, and I like that. And she calls me. Well, she's, you know, Cruz is the one that moved me from the old folks' place over there. She did everything. She says, I just left that apartment, and she just took care of everything and moved me over here. And of course, you know, there were a lot of things that I didn't need, and so she hauled them off or did whatever. I didn't care. Didn't have that much anyway. But it was good talking to her today. But I ran over to my sister's and stayed with her this afternoon. It was very pleasant. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, having a little bit of trouble with the air conditioner here. It's just so hot, and the little air conditioner I have can only do so much, you know. But she worked on it, and so I'm back home now, and it's still 81 in here, or 80 now, so it might get cooler, hopefully, this evening, but I can tolerate it. I think I won't have any problems. Yes, I'm adding the granny stitch now on this, and the yarn is changing colors. By the time I get through, I'm figuring that it'll be all pink by the time I get to the end of it, which would be sort of pretty, I believe. Yes. I did an interesting thing today. I was, Gigi called, and, you know, I was reading her message and stuff, and we do, on Messenger, we can talk to each other and look at each other, you know. And so she was showing me her crochet projects and everything, and I said, you know, I heard a video you telling me about your projects, and I'll upload them, you know, as a part of the video I do. I said, I think people would enjoy what you have to say, and it might attract other people like yourselves that want to get online live with me on Messenger through Facebook. Of course, a lot of people don't who are on YouTube, but it'd be fun, you know, I thought. So anyway, I made a video of a video because we're talking, and so I'm using my new iPad to film our interview on the old iPad, which I still haven't got my stuff over to the new one. I still haven't got the Facebook, and I can't get Messenger on there or my email. So very frustrating to me. So it was nice that I went to my sister's today because I was away from, you know, doing videos and the frustration of the new iPad, and so I could just sit, and we visited, you know, and had lemonade, and she was making all her calls and stuff, and then she got her new circuit. Is that what it is, where it cuts little letters and stuff out? I'm telling you, this is the one that I started with Fiber Spider. I don't think it's going to look exactly like his because he's using some beautiful colors. Of course, I think this is a beautiful color. But, you know, men like different kinds of colors, I think. And I think what was given to him is what he's using for the one that he's teaching his class. And it's funny because I'm using the yarn that came from Mrs. C's cottage. But, yep. Oh, I heard a joke. Let's see. And see if I can remember it. It was, okay, Paul McCartney from, you know, Beatles. Paul McCartney. Okay. He went to London and was invited by the Queen to come to the palace to see her. And so, you know, he came into outside the gate in a limousine, but from there they brought the carriage, you know, that big fancy gold carriage that they do for weddings and stuff or whatever. And they put, you know, so the Queen was in that, and they drove around, rode around with their big horses and everything. You know what I'm talking about, around the palace and everything. And the back rear horse farted. And so Paul's telling this story. He said he didn't know what to say, you know, because her horse farted and it stank really bad. So he just kept his mouth shut. And she says, I've always thought that I always thought that the horses would do that first. Now, was she saying he farted, or was she saying she farted? Him or her? What would you do in that situation? I'm telling you, my sisters and I, we went to Mountain View up in the Ozarks many years ago, and we rode one of those horse and carriages, you know, like you do through small towns on Ozark festivals, country music and stuff. And we were riding around town, and the horse did fart. And we laughed and giggled and laughed and giggled. And the guy driving never said a word. Nothing. He just kept riding his horse around town. And we were back there just riding with him. Yes, my sister reminded me of that story yesterday. I think, yeah, that's right. But anyway, I don't know if the joke was supposed to be funny, but I didn't see the humor in it, but who knows? You know, some people see humors in some jokes and some people don't. Oh, Lordy mercy. Oh. Well, I'm still waiting on some rain. Y'all waiting on rain too? Well, I have rightfully decided, after reading all y'all's notes and all y'all's comments, that it's getting hotter on the earth. I do believe believe us having all this heat for so long. And did you see, I don't know if it's true or not, but something came up on YouTube, and it was talking about the flooding and the windstorms and the tornadoes happening all around the world. Now, they might have been happening all the time over time. And they're just now, the social media is so alive now that, even up in the wild jungles of Africa and anywhere up in the mountains in Japan, or they've got internet. So if you stick your camera outside, phone outside and take a picture, of course we can see up on top of a mountain, or side of a mountain crumbles, or the water flows, or whatever, the flooding. But yeah, and I go, has this always been happening and we didn't know it? Or is it just getting more prominent because we do have social media? I don't know. I have no idea. And I don't even know why I brought that up. Do you know why I brought that up? No? Let's see if I can figure this out. Now what you do after you get your design, then you go back and you start making these double crochets every other stitch, and then it starts making this little area before you get to the granny stitch. I don't know if you can tell there or not. I've got it wrapped over a little bit, but anyway, it's gonna be like a rectangle kind of shape. And it'll flatten up once I start bringing the granny stitches back and it's stretched out. It's going to be very illuminating, I believe. Illuminating. Yay. Yeah, I was reading that Simply Crochet magazine I was telling you about. The library, when it comes out, the library alerts me, and then I can see it on Libby and read the magazine and get all the patterns off of it and download them. It's all free, and because it is coming through the library. And they had the most adorable little animals and stuff. Like you make a little rabbit and you make a little jacket for the rabbit, and then you make a little blanket for a bed, and then they had people making all kinds of little clothes for doll houses, and little bedspreads, and the Africans folded on the foot of the bed, or throw around the little chair in there. So sweet. I said, wouldn't that be fun? Be able to do that too. Now, most children don't like doll houses anymore, I don't believe. Now, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I mean, what beats a cell phone and what they call them, those little things they have that carry around all the time? They're not phones, are they? Those little kids carrying phones? There must be some kind of tablet, because they just carry them around. I mean, they're 3 and 4 years old and they're carrying them around. Go to the doctor's office, you're sitting in there, there's a mother and 2 children, and one has an iPad and the other has some kind of big plastic thing with games on it. And they don't even talk to each other or anything. The kids just sit there like little zombies. One thing about it, I think the people in the doctor's office appreciate it. I think that if the doctor's office would furnish them for the kids would even be better. Remember when you used to chase kids around the doctor's office and had to talk to everybody and tell them, why are you here? What kind of foot is that? How did you do that? What did you got in your hair? I remember my daughter one time when we went over to the doctor. A doctor, I can't remember, Lawrence Honest. Now this is back in, I guess it was 71, 72. And we walked in there, and Crystal was about 3, maybe 3 or 4. And she went over to this lady because this lady had a hairnet on. Remember those old-fashioned hairnets? Well, she didn't have the old-fashioned, but she had the hair nets, you know, on her head. And my daughter just bugged that lady, that old lady, about that hairnet. She thought maybe she should get a hairnet. So the little lady told her, oh, you've heard this said, told her that the reason she wears hairnets, and she wears them at night too, because of the hair thieves. But you know, there's not such a thing as hair thieves. So, you know, it wasn't like longer. I was at the dollar store or grocery store or something. I watched this old lady check out her stuff. Now, this is when I was in my late 20s. And I saw her checking out, and she had hair nets. Hair nets and dog food. You know, you gotta have what you gotta have. Those hair thieves are everywhere. I asked my daughter the other day if she remembered the story. She said, no, Mama, I don't remember. One time I'll never forget, I was at work I worked at a hamburger place. I had 3 jobs during that time, and so she was sort of running my little house, and she was 8, 9 years old. And she called me, Mama, Mama, and I was waiting in the window at the hamburger place. And I said, yes, baby, what's wrong? She says, the neighbors next door, they've got birds, but they don't fall over. They don't fall over. I don't know what they are. They don't fall over. I didn't know what she was talking about. I got home, and the neighbor had got chickens. And you know how chickens are, and their legs in the back, and that big belly, or you know, the crawl or whatever you call it. And stick it out in the front. She couldn't figure out why they wouldn't fall over off their feet. I don't know. I laughed about that for years. And I asked her, did she remember that? And she said, I did remember that, Mom. Because I kept seeing that chicken scratching, you know, like, what's he scratching for? And she was very inquisitive about these chickens. And I was thinking, I was raised with chickens from, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe before I was born, didn't know it, but we always had chickens. I mean, it was just something we had, and we had chicks, and we had babies, and we had, you know, every kind of thing, and they just run wild, you know. But, yeah, why did they fall down, and what were they? I had to tell her chickens. And she said, I know what chickens, because she's seen them in books, but she just didn't fit, she just couldn't understand that part of why they don't fall over. Oh my. Our generations do change, don't they? What they're aware of and what they don't know, and what could be. But I heard a guy the other night, he was on, well, I didn't hear him, but he was typing on one of the live video things, and I think it was inherited stitches or something. And he was on there, and he typed that he said it's so hot that he has to keep his chickens cool, and he puts a lot of ice in their water, and he feeds them frozen grapes. And I thought to myself, I've never heard of that. I've been around chickens all my life. I don't really frozen grapes. I don't know if he was being funny or if he was being truthful. Maybe he had a grapevine or something. It's interesting what people say. Sometimes they don't say very nice things on those live chats. I have to leave. I just, they're really bad. I just can't. I don't want to hear bad things. You don't want to put bad things in your head. You know what I mean? No. Now, if they're funny bad, yeah, makes sense, you know. Some things are funny when they're said. Bad words are said funny. That doesn't make any sense, does it? That doesn't make any sense to me either. Doesn't make any sense to me either. Well, that's all I'm going to chat today, and as soon as I get everything together, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just resign from the fact that I am not technical savvy to do what I want to do, and I'll just have to keep doing what I am doing. And Thank you for listening to me and coming by to see me. I do appreciate it. And you can take a day off. That's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. And you don't have to call me in every day, even though I enjoy them. And yeah, I got a comment from Jill today. She says she's loving her air conditioning. I thought to myself, me too. Thank God for air conditioning. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to make myself some more lemonade. I've got about a half of a glass here. See the ice cubes? Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know, can you drink too much lemonade? You know, one thing about it, they always say you need to eat vitamins. You need to eat, you know, the right food and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you know if you're getting enough and what is enough and what is too much? Oh, well, that's another day to talk about something silly. Anyway, cool lemonade to you guys. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm sure, you know what, I'm going to predict tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be hot. Yes. Tomorrow will be almost like today. Right. I predict people crocheting, watching TV, and the air conditioning, and listening to audiobooks. That's what I predict for tomorrow. Who am I anyway? Do you remember Johnny Carson? When he used to come out with his envelope, and he'd answer the envelope before they read it. It was a hoot, wasn't it? That was a good old TV back then. Oh, well. I'll let you go. Thanks for coming by to see me. And what is bottoms up? Touche? No, I don't know. To you, you're special, and you will stay cool, and you will be happy, and everything will be okay. Remember, God has you in His hands, and pray for Mother Earth and our bees. Bye-bye.